The Raid to Berandal tells the story of Rama, a cop who is undercover in jail in order to crack down on crime and crooked cops. And I have to say that while the film is certainly an intense and enjoyable experience, it does have its flaws. And in this film we have Rama, and we really get a great insight into Rama. In contrast to the original film, there's a far deeper insight into this character, into his motivations, into what he does. And the fact of the matter is, while the original certainly established he's a family man, in this film you really feel that, and you feel this essence of him having to go through all of these, dare I say, dingy parts of life so as to really support the people that he loves, and he's fighting and striving for them, and really witnessing Rama, in fact, the sole good person on screen, if you will, is certainly an interesting journey to be on. But while the first film certainly lacked character and story, if you will, this film certainly doesn't, but unfortunately there are moments wherein it in fact suffers due to an overdose of story, if you will, wherein certain plot points are introduced rather unnecessarily, to be honest. And furthermore, there's an excess amount of convolution through this story, leaving you a bit confused, and after a point, you just allowing things to occur rather than being attached to them. And furthermore, to allow for several story beats through the course of the film manages to break the great intensity that you feel in certain moments, and rather it's more segmented and fragmented, if you will, rather than being a consistent level of intensity that I would have loved to have experienced, as I perhaps did with the original. But that certainly doesn't discount the various action scenes in the film, in particular one in a kitchen. And the fact of the matter is, the action is beautifully coordinated, and you really get to witness an extreme level of professionalism when it comes to the action in this film, and it's really awe-inspiring and even jaw-dropping to witness at certain moments, and definitely what the film rides on for its success. But at the same time, some of the action beats tend to feel a bit out of place, or dare I say comical, and at the contrast of that, they seem to be very grotesque moments. The film, in my personal opinion, is in fact overly grotesque, to the point where you need to really shut your eyes and not witness things happening on screen, but at the same time you can't but help yourself to actually witness those things because of the fact that you are certainly engrossed in what's going on. But towards the end of this film, I felt it a bit of a loss, if you will. The fact of the matter is, as the film progresses, I seem to get a little less interested as it went along, and the problem with the film is, in my personal opinion, that it does tend to stretch out certain moments, thereby making it an experience that I believe is longer than it actually should be. Rather than being compact and maintaining a high level of intensity, it manages to draw itself out and ultimately draw out the intensity, but not really reel you in the manner that you'd love to be, and thereby reducing the overall impact of the film because of how stretched out it really is. Ultimately, The Raid to Berandal is certainly a film that I believe is worth watching. The action alone is awe-inspiring, though unfortunately, when it really comes to you thinking about the film post-viewing it, you really start to realize that connecting the dots isn't as easy as it is, not because of complexity, but more because of convolution and in fact confusion, thereby making this experience a bit more watered down from what it should have really presented, which is the action, of course. It's a film that certainly succeeded at what its predecessor managed to succeed at as well, unfortunately, trying to do more, and in the process of becoming larger, it became a bit lesser at the same time. I'm going to give The Raid to Berandal a yes.